My name is Stephen Morrow. I'm the operations manager for the home and auto insurance program supporting the CARP group. And before I get into the insurance piece of it, I'd just like to say a couple of months ago I was at one of the CARP chapter meetings in London. And CARP had called us down and said, hey, you know, there's this chapter meeting in London, we'd like you to be there. And the London chapter, oh my goodness, they are huge, you need to go see this thing. And so I drove, and I'm from Windsor, so I drove all the way 2 hours up the 401 and got to London. And they said, you know, they have a membership of about 4,000 people, you got to go to this meeting. And I went to the meeting, and there was about 40 people there, and they were, look at how many people we got here. And you know what? I don't know, I'm doing some pretty quick math here, and I'm seeing a whole lot more people here tonight. So this is amazing. It's great to see that with such a young chapter that you know, you've got some great support here. So for myself, like I said, both Helen and I were from Windsor. I do spend my summers out at Rondo Park, and so I do a lot of grocery shopping and picking up stuff here in Chatham, and so happy to be here. I'm not going to take a whole lot of time. I am in the insurance industry, and even myself, I'll tell you, if I was standing up here for an hour talking about insurance, I may tend to nod off and take a little nap. Insurance generally isn't the most exciting subject to talk about, but with that, I think most people really, you know, how much do we spend on insurance? A whole lot of money, right? You've had your home or your car insured for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and you're spending what? $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a year on this. Why? Well, I know I get a little pink piece of paper that I can put in the car, but what's that all about, and how much am I paying, and am I paying too much? So I just want to go through, I'll talk on auto insurance because I think that's a pretty hot topic recently. First I'd like to explain what the McLellan Group is. Anybody here have their home or auto insurance with the McLellan Group? Excellent. Have you heard about the McLellan Group? Right? I think you've seen some of the ads in the magazine. I think we're pretty prominent in most of the Zoomer magazines that you see come out. So I'd like to just tell you about the McLellan Group, and feel free to read along. McLellan Group has been CARP's trusted insurance provider for 19 years. They have a number of affinity programs that are designed specifically for CARP members. Right now there's 11 insurance programs. We have the auto and home insurance program, that's what I'm part of here. We have health and dental, travel, which is what Helen is part of. We have pet, accident, death, and dismemberment, guaranteed issue life, term life, long-term care, critical illness, the Follow Me Health and Follow Me Life. The home and auto insurance program actually was the first program built up for the CARP members, and that started in 1993, so that's been around for quite a while now. So let's talk about auto rates. I think that's probably a pretty good topic to talk about. I'm sure you guys have seen in the media in the last little while, there's a couple of things that came up that I think it kind of caught me by surprise, and I would expect it caught especially the CARP members by surprise. There was two things. One, not too long ago, there was a release of the watchdog programs that were out there where, you know, drivers, if you're out on the road and you see somebody driving improperly, please call into the watchdog line and let us know. And what that turned into very quickly seemed to be, if you see a senior driving out there, you need to call in and let us know because we got to get these guys off the road, right? And very quickly on that heel, it seemed to be a lot of press coverage turned to, and by the way, these seniors, they're terrible drivers. That's why we have this watchdog program. And insurance companies, they need to charge you guys a lot of money. Now, is that true?
No.
I don't know. Do you think you should be charged a lot of money? No. I don't know. So I'm going to just spend, and again, I'm going to try to do this as quickly and without boring anybody, but really talk about how are automobile insurance rates determined. And I think that's something that, you know, I said, you spend a lot of money paying for insurance, but why am I paying this amount? And am I paying more than I should? Or am I paying less? Am I paying too much? I don't know. And so I'd like to just share that with you, how we determine automobile insurance rates. So be very clear that automobile insurance rates are regulated by the government. So when you call in to get a price, if you call into our office and say, here's how old I am, here's where I live, here's the kind of car I drive, here's your price. Well, you know, could you get it a little bit cheaper for me? Unfortunately, we can't. It is a regulated price. So the price is set as the companies file with the government, so it's set there. Now, having said that, every price that you get from one company to the other is going to be different. And why is that? Anybody here connected to insurance? Anybody know how insurance rates are determined, or why would we set a rate to be a certain rate?
Well, yeah, that's prerogative of the broker, isn't it?
It is not, actually.
I thought it was a location has well to
A little bit of that.
Well,
I'll tell you
so
what.
you told me.
Yeah, so the broker actually has absolutely no control over the price that they give you. It is set by the insurance company. And so they are dictated, here's the price you represent. Now, an insurance brokerage will represent a number of different companies. And so when you come in for a quote, they will give you the price that is best for you. But the price that they give you for that specific company, that's the price, and they can't change that. So, how did they get that price? Insurance companies, they build their price based on claims. So, they charge you a premium, they bring that all in together, and that premium is used to pay out for the claims, right? And now, if you think of an automobile claim that happens out there, there's two components to that. There's the car, and there's the people, right? Now, let's just say I am 20 years old, I've got my first car, I've got my license, and I'm out with my buddies, and we're driving, and I've got my car that I bought used, the cheapest car I could afford, right? And I'm out there, and I drive it, we're having a good time, and we smash the car. That insurance company is going to have to pay to replace that car, probably. But what are they also going to have to pay for? All of the injuries. Yeah, it's the injuries. The accident benefits, that is the biggest part of insurance rates, right? So the car part of it, a lot of people think the more expensive car I drive, the more expensive my insurance. That's actually not the case at all. The insurance premium is based on the claims that are paid out. And so let's just think about the 19-year-old driving a cheap car that wraps the car around a pole. We're paying out thousands and thousands and possibly millions of dollars to help those people rehabilitate. So let's think about seniors. All right, how would the rates be for seniors? Well, you talked about where you live. It's true. Should somebody living in Chatham pay the same rate as somebody living in Toronto?
No.
No, don't think so.
No, because you're more prone to have more accident in a big city than a smaller city.
Do you think somebody living in Windsor should pay the same amount as somebody in Toronto?
It's a big traffic area, so yeah.
I live in Windsor, and I'll tell you right now, we pay more than somebody living in Toronto. And you know why? Because we're terrible drivers in Windsor. Windsor is automotive town, right? It's people love their cars in Windsor, and for whatever reason, we just don't like to pay attention to each other. We are terrible drivers. I've been hit many times. But it's where you live. It's how old you are. There is a small component that is the car that you drive that's part of that rate. It is the claims history that you have had personally, and it's tickets and convictions. And all of those pieces go together to say, all right, so for you specifically, or your demographic, driving this type of car in this type of city, how much should we charge? And so that's how insurance companies come up with that rate. And they will look at that and go, all right, I can see somebody that's 19 years old driving the average type of car in Toronto are probably going to get in this number of accidents, and they're going to have this many friends in their car, and they're going to be on, you know, some sort of rehabilitation program for the next 10 or 15 or 20 years, and it's going to cost a lot of money. Therefore, we should charge them a lot of money. Now, there's another piece that comes into this. Let's look at CARP as a group. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead of my slides here, but we're going to look at CARP as a group and seniors as a group. So if we look at you as a whole, are you guys driving good cars, old cars? And that's a piece of it, but are you driving 20 or 30 kilometers over the speed limit? Probably not. You guys have a lot of tickets? Yeah, probably not. Will you get in accidents?
Maybe. You never know.
You never know. And that's the part that I think the media has kind of latched onto, thinking, well, you know what? You're getting kind of old. You probably don't see so well. You're probably having a hard time. I know you used to be this tall. Now you're about this tall. Maybe you can't see over the back. That's the kind of stuff that's out there, right? And that's what I think general public thinks, that's what happens, and that's why we should be, you know, we're getting charged more. The reality is though, CARP is a good group. Your loss results for the senior market is pretty good when we look at the rest of the general public. So now, insurance companies, when they're out there, they have to, now part of auto insurance is you have to provide insurance to anyone who asks. So if I go to insurance company ABC and I'm 20 years old, can you give me insurance? Yes, I can. I'm 50 years old, I'm 80 years old, can you give me insurance? Yes, you can. How much do you charge for the 20-year-old or the 50-year-old or the 80-year-old? That's up to the insurance company's decision. And every insurance company will decide to target different groups. Some of them will say, we're gonna just have insurance that our rates kind of go across for everybody. And they're okay rates, and we're covering claims from everybody. Now, the McLellan Group has teamed up with Zenith Insurance. And Zenith Insurance has said, you know what, we recognize that this CARP group, they're pretty good. They don't drive fast, they're pretty responsible, they have their homes, they're paid off, the kids are gone to, you know, they've moved out, they're not driving a million miles an hour, they don't have a lot of tickets, and actually, there's a lot of situations where, let's just think I'm 20 years old, and somebody bangs into the side of my car, and it's gonna be a couple $1,000s to repair that. I'm gonna put in a claim, because I don't have a couple $1,000s. I'm 50 years old, or 60 years old, that happens, I might just pay for that myself, right? And all of that factors into rates. And so Zenith Insurance has said, you know what, we recognize CARP, and we're gonna build rates around this group. If you called into, so in our program, the Home and Auto Insurance Program, if you are 50 plus and you call into our call center and say, I'd like to get a quote, the first question that we ask you is, are you a CARP member? And you know why we ask that question? Because if you're not, you're going to get a different rate than if you are. So, as CARP members, I'd say, you know what, if you haven't, call in for a quote. It's worth checking it out. You talked about, you know, are some companies more expensive, some are other? Yeah, everybody's different, right? I do know that this is a program that is designed for the CARP member. So I'll go into a couple of the benefits that we have in the program. So how many here are perfect?
Close to it.
We've got a couple, so great.
Driver record. Never had any problem.
A perfect record, that's true. But you know what? The longer you go without having a claim or having an accident, the bigger the chance that you may have one.
Well, don't tell me that.
Because you know what? Accidents happen.
Oh, I
Right?
know.
And there's a good chance that at some point in your life it's going to happen. So one of the things that they've built into the CARP insurance program is accident forgiveness at no extra cost. Because we recognize that, you know what, you've been driving for a long time, and so you've got a perfect record. I've never had tickets, I've never had an accident. It might happen, and it may not be your fault. And so you know what, when it does happen, that's okay. Your rate is protected. So I'm paying $1,000 this year, I got into a little fender bender, sorry, next year guess how much you're paying? $1,000. Not bad. Identity theft reimbursement. Holy smokes. So what is that all about? You know, I think if, I was saying to some people earlier, you know, if 15 or 20 years ago I had said we need insurance coverage for identity theft, I thought, what, is that somebody stealing my wallet? Like, what is this all about, right? How many are, you know, have iPads or are on the computer and using that, some sort of, you know, internet technology to communicate with friends and family? A lot of people, right? And so we actually provide coverage for identity theft because it does not take very long for somebody to grab that information of you, that bank account or whatnot, and it's gone.
Why is it covered under auto?
That's just, we've lumped it into the auto program, so. Yeah.
Let's share them nice.
Yep. CARP trained, what does that mean? CARP trained. Well, what that means is that our staff that we have in the home and auto program, as in the travel program, as in all the other insurance programs, they understand who you are. I'll be honest with you, they are not seniors. Most of them are 20-something years old, and so the concept of a CARP and you know, your world and what you're going through is a little foreign to them, but we make sure that they understand what CARP is all about. We have them all signed up as CARP members. We get the Zoomer magazine the same time that you're getting it. They understand CARP. They live and breathe CARP every single day.
So they'll be ready for it when they're age of 50.
Oh, they will be ready for it. And trust me, they spend hours and hours. So, you know, you want to talk about the weather, the gardening, the whatever, from whatever part of Canada you're from, they're more than happy to have those conversations, so please give them a call. AM Best. AM Best is a statistical company. I believe they're housed out of New Jersey. They do rating. You may have heard AM Best rating for a number of different banks and countries and this and that. And for the McLellan Group on our service side, they've given us a A-. That's better than a B+. Not as good as an A+, but I think it's pretty good. And what that just says is that the CARP clients are pretty happy with the service that we provide. And part of our auto program is we also have 24-hour claims service. Not bad. That's kind of it. So I'll tell you, McLellan Group is kind of the superstore of insurance products for you. Like I said, everything from home and auto to travel, we've got it. So please, in the back, you know, at one of the breaks, I did bring some flyers, you know, nothing fancy, but what we provided here was the numbers, toll-free numbers for all of those different insurance programs. So whether it's AD&D or travel or home and auto, listen, you guys are CARP members. Take advantage of the benefits you have out there. These are programs that are designed for you, pricing designed for you, and you know what, it never hurts to call and ask for a quote, because if you can save a little bit of money, why wouldn't you? So, thank you for the time, and enjoy the evening.
Floor is open for questions, if you want to.
Well, and the floor is open for questions. I'd like, if you could, on the break, please come back and talk to Helen and I, and we would be happy to answer some questions. If there's anything immediate right now, for sure. Any questions?
If you're in a health program now and you want to change to your group,
Yep.
you need a medical.
For travel?
No, for just health insurance?
And unfortunately, I'm not part of the health program, so I can't answer that specific question. You may, and so like I said, I provide some toll-free numbers there. Please give them a call. Yeah.
It's an option.
Yep. Yeah. Listen, we pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a year for insurance, whether it's travel, whether it's health, whether it's home or auto, and there are lots of prices out there. You know, and I know sometimes I've been with the same broker and I've been with this person for a long time, but man, if you can save a couple $100, why wouldn't you? And it doesn't hurt to just call and ask for a quote and get a little bit of information, so please do.
Under the CARP, with your insurance company, do they ask you how many kilometers a year you travel with your car?
Oh, for sure they do.
They do, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of the, so as I said, the rates that you get are based on claims, and it's based on a number of factors, because part of it is, you know, what's the chance that you're going to get into an accident and have a claim? And that chance, if I drive once a week from my house to the grocery store and back, the likelihood of you getting in an accident in that little bit, probably pretty rare, right? But if I am out on the road driving 50,000 kilometers a year all over the place, there's probably a pretty good chance that, you know, you're out there more often. So yes, the number of kilometers a year you drive does play into
But
that.
most accidents happen within 25 miles of your own home.
Actually, it's not even 25 miles, it's within just a few miles of your
Well,
house.
they changed it again, and changed everything.
Yeah, most accidents happen within just a couple kilometers of your house. And that's really because you become so comfortable with that you stop paying attention, right? I know to stop here and turn here and watch out for that little pothole there, that you're not paying attention, and that's when
And
accidents
the
happen.
police that hide down some little street and try to tell you didn't stop at the stop sign.
I've been there.
And you know you did.
I've been there, and you gotta fight that.
Well, they should find better use of their time.
I agree with you 100%.
And that's exactly what I told the last one.
We got another question. Got another question at the back.
You talk about how much money we're going to save, and we do pay an awful lot of money in premiums, insurance premiums over a year.
Yes.
Heaven forbid, we have a claim. How are we treated with claims? Do we have to get lawyers to protect our rights, or are you fairly out and going and?
Well, and I can speak from experience. When you have an insurance company and you are in a claim situation, you know, whether it's home or auto or a liability situation, they have legal counsel that will defend your claim. You know, are you going to be out there getting a lawyer? I would not expect that at all. That's what your insurance is for, is to cover you in that claim situation. It's not you against the other person, it's really insurance companies against other insurance companies. You will be reimbursed for your expenses, and then it's up to the insurance companies to fight amongst each other to get that money back.
That depends on your insurance agent.
It's not actually your insurance agent, it's the insurance companies themselves. So your insurance brokers are the middleman, really, they are your advocate to the insurance companies, but the insurance brokers really aren't, they aren't the insurance companies that are out there paying your claims or charging those rates. Now, just one other thing that you alluded to was, are we going to save money? And I would like to say that the CARP program is designed for CARP members, and it is designed to have rates that are good for CARP members, but it doesn't mean it's the best rate all the time. So one of the things you really got to do is you got to shop around every now and then, and that means give us a call, but I also say, you know what, you got to call out. Check on the internet, you can do quotes online. There are lots of companies out there, and it's really calling around and finding the best price for you.
Okay, we're gonna do a couple draws then. So Marie, you wanna pull a number? 1.
Gail. Gail
So Gail, there's a table at the back there. You can just pick off whatever you want from the back table.
3.
So number 1 was Gail. Okay. Oh, there's more than one Gail.
L-U-N-N, Gail, L-U-N-N,
Lund.
Lund.
Good point.
Lund. 29. How do you say that? Swayze. Doug Swayze.
So Doug, you're welcome to pick something off the back table there. Number 16.
Is Donna Karen.
Donna Karen? Okay. So should we do another one? That's okay. All right. So everybody, refill your coffees, grab a sweet, and we'll start back up in about 10 minutes.
So these are drawn. Hi, Sharon. How are you? I get on the label. At our meetings, that's all they make. So you have.
Yes.